here. Oh yeah, another session of Jam Jar, believe it or not. Let's do the song. And as you know, every time we do the Jam Jar song, it's a little bit different. So it's what you call, it's a creative process in the making. But I'll do it in the major 7th, D major 7th. It goes a bit like this. Jam Jar, Jam Jar, everybody's talking about Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Everybody, whoever you are, just talk Jam Jar, Jam Jar. We're walking and singing Jam Jar, Jam Jar. We're all speaking, oh Jam Jar, oh just a thing, yeah. Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Spread it around. Oh, we Jam Jar. There we are. Well, welcome everyone. Great to have you on the program Jam Jar once again. Another month's raced around before we even knew it. You may have heard some little bits and pieces going on in the background there. That's a surprise. Not yet. But, yeah, we have a really amazing guest with us in the studio today. And, but first, let's find out what's going on around the Wairarapa, musically speaking. Been a bit quiet. It's the time of year. There's a few things happening, but in general, there seems to be a little bit of a lack of venues. A lot of people have closed the doors to music, especially when it's a bit colder, I guess. I'm not sure why, but yeah, like, for instance, Tin Hut, there's still something happening there, sort of. It used to be quite a regular gig. We're doing Gladstone, so those that tune in tonight will be able to know that, yes, tomorrow night is the Gladstone Inn or Gladstone Tavern music night. And it's a good night. We have a great, you never know who's going to turn up, and it's an open mic thing. We've been doing it for the last 4 years, so yeah, it's starting to get a bit sort of, yeah, you get your regulars and the people that turn up, all sorts of, we get acrobats, we get people juggling, poets. We haven't had any painters yet. I guess that's a bit hard to entertain painting. But anyway, we've had, yeah, a lot of artists, a lot of musicians. And so if you're feeling, do you want to go somewhere tomorrow night? That's the place to be. And we'd love to have your presence. Okay, so let me see. Dan Broughton, now that's a name that some of you will know. He's our, wouldn't say benefactor, but he's our sole person that he funds this program to be on air. Wairarapa Web Design. Dan, you're the man. Oh, yeah. He's in Carterton there, and very good at what he does. If you just go on and Google Wairarapa Web Design, you'll find that some of the things he's done are just fantastic. So if you're looking to do a web for your business or even for yourself, he's the man to see. That's Dan Broughton in Carterton there. And thanks, Dan, because without you, we wouldn't have a program. Big hi out there, of course, to the team here at the radio station. Yeah, they're sitting in there working hard in their office, probably not listening to me, but they might be. But anyway, great thanks to you, because without you guys, we wouldn't have a TV or a radio station happening here either. Okay, so what else is happening? Let me think. There's a few things happening coming up at Aratoi, which is very interesting. They're trying very hard, and I mean the team that's put together in Aratoi to promote the arts and as far as singing or voices or whatever, anything to do with music. Madeline is one of them, and she's doing her best to sort of bring some outside artists of repute into the system to play mainly at Aratoi and the little adjoining wing there at the Wesley wing. So if you keep your eyes posted on posters, there's a few things happening there over the next couple of months. I can't say exactly what, and I haven't got the posters with me. But if you're passing down there, you'll see them. They're posted up on the door there, or go in and have a word to them at Aratoi to find out what's happening. But generally, pretty amazing artists of good quality from outside the area. So it's something that at least they're trying to do something for the music here. The other places that have had regular music are not having regular music. Of course, Iberia, that's gone. That's no longer a venue. There's a gig for hard out sort of bands, I guess, along there just past, I can't even think of the name of the place now, one of the Trust pubs anyway. They've got pretty hard out sort of heavy metal type sort of things happening there every now and then. But as far as actually musical performances go, other than Aratoi and a little bit at the colleges, there's not a lot of music events happening. But I believe there is a concert coming up. Kokomai, of course. Thank you very much. Yes, Kokomai, it happens every year. Again, they've got some really good visiting artists coming in, I believe. I'm not sure exactly who they are. I have played Kokomai before, a couple of times, but they seem to concentrate more on outside artists rather than... but our visiting guest may be involved, and I'm hoping that he is. So without further ado, I think I might introduce our guest here, and his name is Stefan Schultz, and welcome to the program, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan.
Great to have you on board.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's always good, and it's always a pleasure when we're playing, especially when we're doing music together. I just love it. But
comes naturally, doesn't it?
Yeah. So another year's gone by just like that.
Well, I'm not quite finished yet. Still got a turn to go.
So tell us, what have you been doing just lately? Just bring us up to date quickly, and then we'll go back. We'll backpedal later on.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I'm involved in Kokomai, playing at the Greek Orthodox Church, doing some Baroque recorder and whistles.
Yep.
And that should be quite cool, quite fun. It's been fully booked, so that's quite nice for the organisers. I'm also played in the Manawatu Jazz Fest during the year, and the Martinborough Jazz Fest.
Right.
And I'm just now involved again in the Wairarapa Community Orchestra, playing some lovely music there, from Wagner to more recent composers. And that's going to be on the 1st and 2nd of November, the concert. And I'm still playing with Gypsy Jam, or Blackberry Jam.
Right, right.
And I've played with Graphia over the years. Not at the moment, because I'm pretty much committed really, as all these gigs coming up and having played a lot. And teaching, of course, is full-time job.
Yeah. I'll just hold you for a minute, because for some unknown reason we have a technical problem here in the studio, and if you're watching in, Michael, it'd be great if you could come in and sort it out. There's no flip over to the other microphone or camera, and normally it's not flipping over at all. I'm not sure why.
Hello, Stefan and Stefan. Hey,
Hello.
Let's keep in mind this is mainly a radio program, and the camera will change over to Stefan at some stage. Don't stress about it. Radio listeners, you can't see it anyway. I've had a look at it.
Is it? Oh, it's still not doing it. Oh,
Don't worry.
Don't
Just
worry.
do your program.
Okay. It'd be nice to see his face, that's all.
I get
cool.
that, Stefan.
Yeah,
But
good,
as I say, it's a radio program.
Okay, radio.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm carrying on. And here I be, believe it or not. Okay, yeah, so, a lot going on, obviously.
Yep.
A lot of things. So, and I know what that's like. You're trying to juggle the whole thing, and sometimes you feel, a certain amount of where should I be, spend more of my time and this and that and whatever. And it gets a bit sort of exhausting, eh?
It is, and I people might think that I'm a performer, but really I'm not. I enjoy it when I do it, but it does not come easy. I'm actually a composer by trade.
Yeah.
And I've written some interesting pieces for the community orchestra lately, and over the last few years.
Right.
And I've one more coming up for next year probably. So that's been an interesting learning curve for me again, because you write for small bands, for school stuff, and it's pretty easy kind of music, and then you get trying to become more complex and more intricate and more sophisticated, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And it is quite a challenge, because you're trying to write music for 40 or so musicians, and everyone wants to play a tune. And so you're trying to incorporate the bassoon and giving the bassoon a solo, or kind of a melody, and and then the viola, those instruments that are not normally regarded as a melodic instrument as such.
Right.
Because the violin, the cello, the more popular instruments tend to be out there in the limelight in the media and YouTube, and they tend to be the ones that people write for.
Right.
So it's quite nice to be able to have a challenge and fulfill that challenge. And thanks for the orchestra for giving me that opportunity. And with Eckford, who is certainly an icon of the music society here in the Wairarapa.
Absolutely.
It has been for many years.
No, and it's great that you're putting the energy in there, because otherwise it'd be, it would go, but it would be sort of,
Well, it's not just me; it's a collective.
There's a few of them, but
it's a team effort, really.
Yeah. But it's good that it's happening. Great to hear. So listeners or those that are viewing, I know you can see my ugly face here, but anyway, could be worse. So with a bit of luck, it may flip over to the other camera, which is not yet, but anyway. I think when we get you to play something, I might bring you around here, though.
Okay.
I'd like to do that.
Sure.
Yes, so let's go back to this. Let's get a little bit of background on you. Obviously, how long have you actually lived in the Wairarapa, Stefan?
Oh, gosh. Look, my parents immigrated in 1978. That started at the beginning.
Okay.
From Berlin. And and they moved to Featherston. So when I went to college, I commuted to Wellington, and some listeners may remember that, be catching the train, which can be quite arduous. Getting up in the morning at the early hours and going home when it's dark.
Yeah.
Went to university, Victoria University, and ended up after 9 years with a double degree in a master's in composition.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at that stage. I had no clue whatsoever. I enjoyed what I was doing because it's fun at uni. You meet some interesting characters. John Southers, to mention one, and Dan Poynton, a couple of friends of mine who I'm still in touch with. And I enjoyed it so much, so I thought, well, what am I going to do next? I didn't want to carry on in university because university tends to be a little bit... it's one area of people you meet, and I wanted to share my knowledge with the community. So I ended up teaching, got a diploma in teaching, and taught 16 years at Makaurau, and went overseas with my family for a couple of years to Oman, of all places, the Middle East. I always wanted to try to find what makes people think there, and certainly a different world, a challenging world. For us Westerners, and came back and got a job at Chanel College, and that's where I'm teaching still. So,
right, wow. Well, they're lucky to have you. The number of students that have been influenced by you, musicians. Not only students, but even your own son, for instance. Now,
yes, he keeps reminding me. He keeps reminding. Sometimes I have a moment of a low moment. We always question ourselves whether we are doing the right thing, and sometimes in life, and. While I enjoy the interaction with the students, it's apart from being a challenge every now and then, that's fine. It's all part and parcel. But my creative process or spirit sometimes gets a little bit dampened, and my son reminds me of how many people I've actually taught and influenced over the years, and there's quite a number of them. Yeah, quite of them. Few of them have gone to uni, some overseas. Some still are in touch with me. It's pretty cool.
It is cool. And I get the same thing with kids that I taught years ago. Come up to me and they're still playing, or they're playing in a group, or they've gone to uni and taken up music as their. So it is something you can hand on, and you feel as though you're actually, that you've been a catalyst or made some difference, so that they can,
I have to say, though, I'm not a person to want to be in the limelight. No. I've always questioned myself to, whether I should be a performer or not. And like I mentioned earlier, performance doesn't come easy to me because I'm not a person to show off. And then someone, some wise owl, talked to me and said, Stefan, it's not about showing off; it's about sharing your talent, or your talents. And if you look at it from that point of view, yes, I guess I am. And seeing the faces on people, the enjoyment on their faces from young to old, it's certainly a rewarding experience.
Absolutely,
as a performer.
And when they talk about music as universal language, whoa, is it what?
It is.
Totally, eh?
Yeah.
Crosses all those borders of whatever, and brings people together. And it's especially when I visited overseas, I found that the music was the thing that actually was, if you like, the thing that it bonded or made the little catalyst to bring us together in some sort of understanding. When I went to Japan, it was phenomenal. The music was so rewarding. I just blew me away, really. They just loved it. Oh, I've got you on screen now. That's great. Yeah, good. So tell me about some of the groups and some of the things. Obviously, you had a lot to do with a group called Graphia, which is sort of Rob Munsell's brainchild, I guess.
Get right away from it all.
Right away from it all. Which had its moments, and I think there was definitely a if you like a vehicle for exploring certain avenues of music, and with that, and there was some really talented people that were involved. That's still involved, I think.
Yes.
So.
And again, it's a credit to Rob and his band to give us enough freedom to do and explore what we wanted to do. And we've come up with a CD when I was with them, and I still listen to it every now and then, and I think, wow, did I really do that?
Yeah.
Every performance is slightly different because I'm not a performer who sticks to the same notes. I always try to explore and push myself further in order to explore different avenues as a musician. And we haven't really talked about what I actually play, and that's
true.
The violin is probably one of the hardest instruments to play, and it took me many years to free up. Probably in my 30s, I started freeing up and improvising.
Right.
And thanks to Rob's band and other bands too in the past, some people might remember Black Nag, the Irish band, a few years back, and playing with you too, Stefan.
It was great.
It's good fun playing with you too, Stefan, and it's gave me the opportunity to explore my playing and then my whistles, my recorders. I trained myself, and I have to say myself. That sounds selfish, but there weren't any people around in the day when I went to uni, apart from Auckland or down south, to teach me about technique on the recorder. So I actually went out my own way and went to master classes or listened to lots of recordings and simulated playing, and ended up what I'm doing today. Really, with the recorder is my first love.
Yeah,
really, musically speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got the CD in the studio today here, the Graphia CD with the archive, Uncertainty, You Are the Maker, and I'm just trying to, unfortunately it doesn't say in the CD which tracks, I know we're on the CD, both of us, but I'm not sure which tracks we're on.
Oh, just play any, doesn't matter.
I think we'll just play a track, hey? So this is the Graphia CD, which was pretty good, pretty well received, and
it's still for sale at a local music shop. Yeah.
So we're going to, let's have a look here, what we're going to do. Track 2 here we've got here, which is Uncertainty, You're the Maker. What do we want to do?
You're the Maker. Well, not You're
the Maker, I think. Track 3 is a great number. So we're going to play that now, and we won't hear it, but you out there in TV and radio land will hear it. So, and here we go. there you have it. What a beautiful track, eh?
It is.
It is, eh?
It is lovely. It's my favourite piece of graphia.
Yeah.
It's like a symphony.
Oh, Keith, without a doubt, very well arranged, and the flute, the recorder, sorry, is just perfect. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Blends in well.
It's a great track. Okay, so brings us. Now, what instruments are you playing at the moment? Obviously, you're doing. I know that you play violin, but you're playing a series of recorders. There's more than one.
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
They come in different shapes and sizes. Obviously, the bigger you get, the lower the sound.
Yeah.
But they're all tuned in either C or F. So the bottom note is either an F or a C for those musicians who understand that. And that means you basically are playing two sets, those in F and those in C.
Right.
And I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my violin case. I happen to fit in there.
Yeah.
Plus my violin. It's quite a large case.
Yeah.
And then at home I have a bass recorder as well, and you can get great basses with a crook, like a pipe sticking out of the head of the instrument, and lots of keys, and they sound really low and quite quiet. So it's like a tree, playing a tree trunk, and then to very small ones like the sopranino.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, can we get some demonstrations
Sure.
just to give us an idea?
I'll move away from the microphone because it can get quite squeaky. It's quite loud.
No,
so,
that's cool.
So that's your sopranino.
Yeah. And that's in the key of
F.
F. Okay.
And now your descant, which is your ordinary school recorder.
These are the ones that a lot of the earlier listeners or viewers will understand or remember.
Yeah. That's the sound. And then your treble, which is again an F.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the tenor, which is actually my favourite in sound. It's a bit like a French horn, there's the lower sonorities.
Right, yeah. Beautiful.
So it's quite, it's mellow, isn't it? It's
got that enough resonance in the lower frequency to give it almost have a reedy sound to it. A little bit reedy, but even though it's a woodwind.
It depends on how you play it too. I was, I was told way back that it's important to push the air out as much as you can to get that breathy sound sometimes that you want to create that sound that you want. But it's not like a flute. A flute, it's a pipe. A flute you blow across, and you will always, unless you have a good flautist, you will have that hissing sound somewhere down the track. And for me, as a recorder player, I always find the flute a little bit too metallic in sound. It's not what I like, perhaps because I'm used to it.
Right.
But I'm playing on plastic today.
Yeah.
Okay. At home, I've got wooden ones, and again, wooden recorders sound more fuller in sound. It's like playing a cheap violin.
Okay.
Comparison to a good sounding instrument.
Absolutely.
Again, the price tag goes along with it.
Yeah.
And my violin that I bought today is actually a Skylark. And they say, out of 500 or so instruments that they mass produce in China, the People's Republic of China. One will be a really nice instrument, and I think I've got one that sounds quite nice. I've got two instruments, this particular Skylark and a French violin at home.
Yeah.
And I was playing it to my wife and asked her, not to look at it, which one do you prefer? So I played both of them on and off, and in the end we came to the conclusion, actually, I compensate for the instrument that doesn't create that kind of sound that I want.
Right.
So I use more pressure on the bow, I move the bow faster, or I use more vibrato, shaking my hand to make the sound more warm.
Yeah.
The techniques that I've learned over the years, and so I ended up playing both instruments that sound pretty much the same, even though they are different instruments.
Yeah. So hard to.
But I have to say, one instrument is more closer to me because of familiarity, I guess, and also because the sound is the way the instrument is made, it sounds closer to my ear, because you have to put it under your chin, and my left ear is close to the sound holes, while the skylark sounds a little bit further away, even just 20 centimeters or 15 centimeters. No, it's not a lot, but you can hear that there is a difference in the sound, because I'm right next to it, right? But for the listener further away, especially in a concert hall, I don't think it's much different. And I went to a master class many years ago of a violinist who performed a Bach partita, and we all clapped. We were amazed, and he later on told us he was playing on a skylark. Okay, a Chinese mass-produced instrument. Wow. He said it's all in the bowing. It's all in the bowing. He swear by it. So a good bow will do the instrument a lot of good. Anyway, so that's me really. I'm a fiddler and a whistler.
That's great. I'm just wondering if there's a piece of music we could play. You maybe doing the recorder first.
Sure.
You could play some. Maybe I could play along to something.
I'll follow you.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about something like that we used to do when we were with Black Nag, even, or maybe a recorder. What's something like a nice recorder? I hope
That's a nice instrument, the guitar. Your guitar, yes.
This guitar, it's handmade Spanish.
Yeah, looks good.
Almost ended up in the skip, but I rescued it. This guy said this guitar's worth a lot of money in it, and so he did it up. Dave, there's a new guy at the music shop, does repairs. Dave.
Yes.
And he looked at it and thought, oh my God, this is handmade, genuine. Valencia. The Valencias are made in Japan. This is a genuine Italian, Spanish Valencia. So that's the real thing. And
was the input in before?
Put that into it, and it's just beautiful. Yeah. It's got such a.
They say a guitar has life expectancy, unlike a violin.
Yeah.
You play a violin in, and it sounds great after many years. But a guitar, you wear it out. But you have to really play it every day for 6 hours or whatever to practice hard in order to wear it out.
Do you remember that? An ocean tumbled by with a little sailing boat. Oh, Max, he climbed aboard it once and found he was afloat. Across the world and but he stood a river and a day. Sailed Max a million in his boat, the wind that howled a gale. Well, Max became the captain of his little sailing boat. He sang an old sea shanty, one that he just wrote. With Max at the helm and the wind in his face, the stars to guide him on. Sailed Max a million in his boat, so brave and very strong. Brilliant. Oh, I missed that. So good.
It was good fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're listeners. We've got Stefan Schultz in the studio for today. He's our special guest. Fabulous musician, and he's we've played many gigs together. But I'm sure those of you that know him out there will know of his love for music, And I'm going to bring another little facet into your life here, Stefan, because it's always fascinated me, and that's the sailing, the sailing part. People will be saying, "What?"
Yeah.
But you've got this passion for sailing boats, yeah?
Yes. Why? I was pretty much, people might laugh here or might be inappropriate, but pretty much conceived on a sailing boat in the lakes of Berlin, of all places.
Wow.
But my parents were into it, and I can still remember, my dad buying a boat up in north of Denmark and being of a mediocre kind of income. You're not rich, so they spent all their savings, and I remember eating, very simple sandwiches that every day. Because we couldn't afford the ham and the expensive stuff because we were saving up for the boat, and that taught me to be frugal, I guess, in life.
Yeah.
But that was my first major experience sailing down from north of Denmark down to Kiel, north of Germany, and it was quite an adventure.
Yeah.
And then, skipping many years forward, I met Sue, my wife, whose granddad used to build boats.
Wow.
And we clicked straight away, and we bought a skiff. And of course, those of you who know what a skiff is, it's a rowing boat, with a mast and a sail as well. But it didn't sail very well. It was beautiful, nice, sleek lines, and I love looking at boats. It's a bit of an addiction, I guess, of mine. And I love being on the water. And I have to say, though, it's a lot of hard work. Last week we took it out to wash the hull.
Yep.
And fix up a few holes on the hull, and put anti-foul on that stops the growth of little critters and things, plants that will slow us down. And then we put it back in the water, and it's people see the glorious side of it, but with everything, it is a downside. It is a lot of hard work, and maintenance is there. It has to be. I mean, it's an old boat that we have.
Yeah.
Built in 81 and put in the water in 82. It's a Pacific 38.
Right.
And every year, we are constantly doing stuff on it.
Keeping
and
it up to stretch,
it's a hole in the pocket. It's really we're fortunate that Sue and I are fully employed and therefore can afford such luxury.
Yeah.
But the ocean, the sea, it's freedom. When
There's something about it, eh? I mean,
you step on board and you let go of the lines and you kickstart the motor and away you go and hoist the sails and
once you've got
turn the motor off and you've got that silence and the whoosh sound.
I remember. I did a lot of that when I was in the islands, from island to island, all sailing boats.
Yeah. The furthest we've gone is down to Stewart Island, and the boat that we currently have. We tend to go to the Sounds in the summer. But you've been to the islands there. That's something I want to do one day.
Some of the outer islands from Kiribati out to the Happy
wonderful.
And, 2 or 3 day trips out through the lagoon, out through the gap and into the main sea.
Did you sail from New Zealand to there, or did you?
No. Once I got there, there's friends.
Probably the best way to go.
A lot of my friends had sailing ships, sailing boats, yachts, and catamaran. The first one I went on was a big catamaran.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I just couldn't believe it. My son was on there at the time. He was visiting me in the islands. Yeah. And he's never forgotten the experience. He always brings it up. And he was lying in the hammock and one of the things down below, and then right below him was these dolphins. Yeah. Dolphins. You could almost reach out and touch them.
Yes, same with us too.
You don't forget things like that.
Absolutely. Every year we go past the school of, a pot of dolphins, and they dance around you and they stay with you. They play with your boat.
That's right. The current. Here they are again. Oh, I'm welcome. Hello.
Yes.
There.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's awesome.
And it's good that you can do that too. With with as you say, both yourself and your wife working would make it, because it is as you say, quite an expensive exercise to keep on top of, and keep things happening.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to play another track at this point in time off the CD. And it's going to be one of my favourites called Quietly Going Blues. Now, I'm pretty sure that he wrote this, and I'm pretty sure he wrote it for his father.
Yes, he did.
And it's a great number. It has a good feeling, and it shows Rob at his tender moments when he's got. He's a self-made musician. Rob, but he's a lot of what I would say talent that he brings out every now and then and surprises himself as well as others. His insight into things, and I think a lot of that's also got to do with the fact that he deals with people on a level where it's a personal, because of this him being a doctor.
Yes,
and that makes a big difference to the way you perceive.
He's a people person. He's a people person,
and he's awake, if you like, and open to those things around that can make a song become filled with life-giving energy, or whatever you want to call it.
It is.
So here we go. We're going to play this track. The Quietly Going Blues. Yeah.
Of his life, still having many plans in mind, always a kind word, would share a laugh, but now preparing for realms beyond time. He's got the quietly going blues, the quietly going blues. The stroke was a terrible shock. He fought it with all his might, no longer able the rock. He could not speak, only had hearing and sight. He's got the quietly going blues, the quietly going blues.
Okay, great. There it is. A little sneak preview of the number that's coming up after that, which was, I know that was the last of that number. I think it was the last bit. But anyway, we're going to do a number together live in the studio, and we're going to do a thing written by a guy called Errol Garner, as opposed to Errol Flynn, who's an American film star of some ill repute. Anyway, there it is. A number called Misty. And we're just do it better, so. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. Feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. With the sound of your hello, it's music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. And you can say that you lead me on. It's what I want you to do. Hey, don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? So I'm following you. Oh, on my own, I could wander through this wonderland alone. Turn over my right foot from my left, my hand from my glove, so misty. Say that you're leading me on. It's what I want you to do. Hey, don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? So I'm following you. Oh, on my own, I could wander through this wonderland alone. Turn over my right foot from my left, oh, my hat from my glove. So misty, so much in love. I'm so misty, so much in love. Beautiful. Oh, I missed that.
Oh, well, we need to practice some more.
Not too bad. Pretty good, not bad for a couple of old fellas here, eh? Just off the cuff. Haven't done it for a while either. Brilliant, mate. Yeah, so we haven't got we've got about 10 minutes to go on our program today, and we're talking with Stefan Schultz. He's one of the local musicians, teachers, and also works with the orchestra here. And what's the actual official name of the orchestra, Stefan? It's
the
called
Wairarapa Community Orchestra.
Okay, Wairarapa Community Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite. How many in the actual orchestra is there?
The last couple, I think 43.
Wow, man, that's amazing, eh?
And we've got a good spread of musicians as well. You know,
Yep.
having a bassoon is very, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so 4 cellos, a double bass player. Nicky has moved from my son. 16-year-old loves the bass sound, so he's moved on from the cello to double bass at the moment for the orchestra. So he's enjoying that. And 8-10 violins when they're all there. Lots of flutes, some clarinets, a couple of oboes,
Well,
bass clarinets.
Yeah.
No French horns, so any French horns out there, please come and join us. But we make do with saxophones instead,
Right.
and that gives it a kind of horny kind of sound.
So a few
horny,
saxophones.
no pun intended. But it's it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did hear the orchestra in Rathkill one time, just going back a while ago. I think it was last year, actually.
Yeah,
it was great. And you're writing pieces yourself for the orchestra.
Yes, right? Yes. And the theme that I had in my mind was, bringing back the ocean theme. The ocean being important to my life, and so it's a journey. So I start off. It's 4 or 5 pieces. Start off with the preparation for the journey, the departure, the actual journey with the storm, and then the arrival. So it's a kind of telling a story, like a tone poem, if you like, telling a story. And it's tricky because you're trying to write pieces of music that are, again, interesting for lots of musicians playing in the orchestra, but at the same time you need to tell the story, and you need to be able to do it by means of having contrast in the music from something slow to something a little bit faster, something more deep and meaningful, but not necessarily that, and something a bit more challenging in the way for the musicians to play. You can write simplistic and forget about what music is really there for. It is to challenge the mind. It is to challenge the listener.
Absolutely,
It's to challenge us all, including the person who writes it. But not to an extent that people can't play it.
Right.
And there's a fine line there. There's a fine line, absolutely.
Yes.
And we are all amateurs in that orchestra, bar maybe 2 or 3. It's amateurs comes from the Latin word amore, love. We're doing it for love. And I guess we are.
And that's what comes through.
That is what it is.
And is there a percussive section in the orchestra?
Yes. Right. A couple of one student from Chanel and one from Rathkill are in the percussion section, and their tutor, David Heath, and lots of teachers in the school, in the orchestra. As well, who are joining in. Belinda Keary is playing the bassoon from Wairarapa, myself from Chanel. There's a Rathkill member from Rathkill. So it's a mixed bunch of people, and we don't, we laugh at our mistakes.
Yeah, well.
Okay, and we laugh at Ruth as well, because we're all there thrown in and making the most of it, and some of us practice and some of us don't, and it's the usual story. So it's a community orchestra.
Somewhere in the middle we may meet. Make some sort of reasonable sound.
That's right. Yeah. By the time the concert comes along, it's 1st and 2nd of November at Wairarapa College Hall. We will be ready.
Remember, then put that out there too. That's the concert 1st and 2nd November. Concert, Wairarapa Hall?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. School, the Wairarapa School Hall.
Yeah, it'll be advertised in posters and
to
things.
Get it out there on the... great stuff. Okay, so now I was going to... so you guys have been playing you're playing a little bit of jazz with the Gypsy Soul, Gypsy Swing Band.
Gypsy Jazz, and it's quite funny. We call ourselves Blackberry Jam in the Wairarapa, or in Palmerston North, I should say, because that's sort of and in the Wairarapa we call ourselves Gypsy Jam. So it's just the way it sort of evolved. Yeah. But it is myself, Stephen Judd on guitar, and Miles on bass, Miles Ray, and I lovely people to play with because they're very calm, and I can be very passionate and a little bit loud at times, and I totally agree to it, and accept my responsibility to that. But you need passion. You need somebody who's contrast in it's like a family situation as well. You have to have
doing Django Reinhardt stuff. Let's face it, he's out there going.
He's up, absolutely,
and he just takes control of the whole thing, and the others they're either along for the ride or they might as well get off the bus.
Yeah, well, that's quite right. And I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if I didn't have Stephen and Miles backing. They are consistently there for me, playing those chords, playing the bass line, and I feel now comfortable where I can just do what I need to do without having to worry about are they playing the right thing. We've been together for a number of years now, and there was a time in our early years where we where we're going here. The question was raised. But it's like in any band scenario. The average band lasts for about 2.5 years. But we've been together on and off with different members for the last 20 years.
Quite a while.
Quite a while. Yeah, quite a while.
Well, Miles is good value. I mean, I'm doing some gigs I do the odd gigs with Miles. I love working with Miles. He's very adaptable, but he's also got a good ear.
We should bring the whole band in sometime.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah.
We should get it. We could even do it. We could do a thing in here with the band. It'd be great. It'd be so good,
nice.
And Stephen Judd's consistently, he's good at what he does.
Yes.
He's brilliant. Yeah. He's got that pretty well sussed the way he plays it.
Yeah.
And I've heard. We did the jazz thing just gone with the Dixie Swing Band, which went down very well.
The Martinborough Jazz Fest. Yeah.
We got a good hearing.
Good.
They had a huge crowd there. They were really pleased with what we did. I think you guys were playing there somewhere as well.
We were booked for 2 gigs, and then the library said, "Oh, we need to have something playing here. Can you find somebody?" And the organisers asked us, and then said, "Yeah, sure, we can do it."
Yeah.
So we did it out of the blue.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's a nice venue, the library.
Yeah, no, it's a good gig. I enjoy the atmosphere. The Martinborough Jazz Fest is.
It is lovely on a lovely day, and we had
a good day. Yeah.
This year was perfect. It was sunshine and.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward that we can do some things in the future. You and I. I'm doing one song only. Actually, there's a celebration coming up for the centenary of the founder of the Baha'i Faith at Aratoi. In the Wesley wing there, and I've written a song specifically for it, as you know. I was talking to you about it, but you'll be tied up anyway. But
with the orchestra, at the time.
But that's cool. But there'll be other things happening as well. I've got Keith on board, and he's pretty enthusiastic, which is good. And but even just getting a taste of what we did today just really warms me. It really makes me feel that's. When you're on the same page as musicians, it's a good feeling.
It is a wonderful feeling. Absolutely.
It's there's this thing happening. You're not actually using the spoken word or trying to actually. It's just happening on a musical level where you feel.
But I have to say also, it's a give and take as well. You have to be tolerant. You have to listen.
You've got to listen to what people are doing and know when to not to play and when to sing. Like you.
Because there's some musicians out there who are so egotistic. It's all about me, I.
Notes there back in the second. But no, man, the empathy and the way you're playing is great.
Thank you.
So we're coming up towards the end of our program now, and
well, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're going to go out and we'll play a little bit of the Jam Jar song, of course.
Okay.
And if you want to play along, you're welcome to. It's in it's in D major 7th. Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Oh, listening to Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Oh, Jam Jar. Oh, Jam Jar. Whoever you are. Listen to Jam Jar, Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Thank you everyone for listening and to Jam Jar, Jam Jar. Whoever. Yeah. I'm gone.